Okay, let's dive right in. We're going to talk about America's most famous and, let's be honest, most sought-after tech visa, the H-1B. But this isn't just a story about Silicon Valley. No, this is a story of one single nation that has pretty much cornered the market on this critical resource, and what that means for the future of global talent. Take a look at this number, 72.3%. Now, what do you think this is? It's not the market share for a new smartphone or some political poll. This right here is the percentage of all H-1B visas, the golden ticket for high-skilled workers in the U.S., that went to citizens of just one country between late 2022 and 2023.
And yep, that country is India. I mean, just look at this chart. It really puts that dominance into perspective, doesn't it? Nearly 3 out of every 4 H-1B visas are going to Indian nationals. This isn't just a dry statistic. It shows you the absolutely crucial role Indian professionals are playing in powering America's tech, engineering, and finance industries.
But, and this is a big but, this incredible success, this near-total dominance on the global stage, it actually creates a really profound and complex problem for India itself. It's a dilemma that pits global influence against its own domestic progress. We're calling it the kingmaker's dilemma.
This quote just perfectly captures that tension, doesn't it? That feeling of immense pride mixed with a little bit of pain. You've got Indian talent building the future for global giants like Google and Microsoft, but it raises a huge question. What about the future being built back home?
And this leads us straight to that classic debate, brain drain versus brain gain. On the one hand, India is losing some of its brightest minds to foreign companies, that's the drain. But on the other hand, this incredibly successful diaspora sends back billions in remittances, they invest in startups, they transfer knowledge, and they wield enormous global soft power. It really is a double-edged sword.
And this dilemma isn't happening in a vacuum. Not at all. In fact, it's getting more intense by the day, because we are now smack in the middle of a full-blown global talent war. And you can probably guess who prize number one is: India's skilled diaspora.
So let's look at the key players in this game. First up, the United States. You've had policies from an America First perspective that have led to proposals for huge H-1B fee hikes and much stricter rules. For the very people its tech industry depends on, this just creates a ton of uncertainty. And this is where the geopolitical chess game gets really interesting. As the U.S. is kind of raising the walls, its rivals see a massive opportunity. China, for example, has launched its own K visa. It's basically their version of the H-1B, and it is specifically designed to attract the world's best STEM talent, especially from India.
But hold on, here's the twist in the story. Because of all the cost and the uncertainty in the U.S., global giants, I'm talking J.P. Morgan, Goldman Sachs, they aren't just looking elsewhere, they're actually moving high-value jobs like AI modeling and quant research to India. Their huge global capability centers in cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad are effectively bringing those kingmaker roles back home.
So this whole complex situation has really forced India to stop seeing its diaspora as just a loss and start seeing it as a powerful strategic asset. And that has led to a brand new national playbook, a strategic pivot designed to turn this whole brain drain situation into a long-term win.
And this entire strategy is framed by one single overarching national ambition, Viksit Bharat, which translates to Developed India. The goal is massive, to achieve developed nation status by 2047, which is the 100th anniversary of its independence. And talent? Well, that's the key to the whole thing.
So what does this playbook look like? It really boils down to 3 core pillars. First, actively reclaim experienced talent from all over the world. Second, build a world-class ecosystem at home that can actually absorb and reward them. And third, protect and leverage the diaspora that stays abroad, seeing them as a powerful strategic asset.
All right, Pillar 1, reclaiming talent. So how do you do that? Well, you make it easy and really attractive for people to come home. That means things like expanding industry-focused return programs, cutting through all the red tape with a single window system for stuff like banking and getting your kids in school, and actively encouraging the growth of those high-value jobs in the GCCs. Okay, next up, Pillar 2, building at home. You have to build an ecosystem that can actually compete with Silicon Valley. This means linking massive R&D funding directly to real industry projects, creating jobs that can match global paychecks. It means focusing on becoming a deep tech hub for things like semiconductors and AI, not just a services hub.
And it even means using top universities to actively recruit their own alumni back from abroad.
And finally, for those who choose to stay abroad, the strategy is to protect and integrate them. This means better legal and consular support, making it easier for them to participate in India's democracy and creating smooth pathways for them to invest their money back into Indian startups and infrastructure. They're no longer just immigrants. They're seen as an extension of the nation. So, what does this all add up to? When you combine these three pillars, reclaiming, building, and protecting, you get a fundamental shift in mindset. It's a move away from that old, painful story of brain drain towards a new, much more confident vision, a strategic reign in the global talent economy.
So the ultimate goal here is no longer to just stop people from leaving. It's to create a strategic circulation of talent, a dynamic flow of skills, of capital, of ideas, moving between India and the rest of the world, all designed to accelerate the nation's rise as a global power.
Which, of course, leaves us with one final crucial question. In this fierce global war for talent, all the chess pieces are in motion. The U.S. is rethinking its welcome. China is rolling out the welcome mat, and India is building a whole new foundation. The question is, can India's new playbook actually convince its kingmakers that the greatest kingdom they can possibly build is the one back home?